So I don't think it's a stretch to say either that all of the good that we find in the world, all of the mercy, all of the forgiveness, its masdar, its source, is none other than the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, by his mercy. And the Quran says about him, فَبِمَا رَحْمَةٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ لِنْتَ لَهُمْ. By Allah's mercy, you became gentle, right? You became the type of person who was pardoning and forgiving and accepting of others' faults. Don't believe the people who say that Islam, it's about, judging people, or it's about finding fault in others and being this kind of very critical armchair type of critic about everything that everybody does. There's a sister, some of her hair is showing from the hijab. Are the brother's shorts not quite reaching past his knee? Is his beard not quite the right length? And all these things. Our obsession with these outward aspects of Islam, right? It's not indicative of our Islam, but it's indicative of the effect of the times that we live in on our practice of Islam. The Prophet ﷺ did not go around walking al-Medina and checking people's, the length of their hem or their skirt to see if it made up to measure. The Prophet ﷺ was concerned with much greater issues than this. He was concerned with rectification of the hearts, right? Bringing the hearts together, bringing together one another and rectifying them and consoling them towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That was his mission. He was not an inviter to Islam. He was an inviter to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? He called to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He didn't call to the specific outward practices of Islam, even though those are important. So what we know and what we remember about the legacy of the Prophet ﷺ is the effect that he was able to have on those hearts. It was not by violence, it was not by the sword, it was not by compulsion that he brought all those people together, but it was by mercy, and it was by forgiveness, and it was by empathy, understanding where people are and where they are coming from. Right? We mentioned the other night that people would come from all different types of backgrounds and all different places and do all sorts of different things. The A'rab, the desert Bedouins, who were not accustomed to city life, and they came just to listen to the Prophet ﷺ, just to know something about him. And so they would tie their camel inside the masjid, or even let their camel urinate inside. And on occasion, they themselves would urinate inside the masjid. The Prophet ﷺ was not harsh or austere with them. In fact, he let them go. And he told the Sahaba to not do anything to them. And he is the one who took care of the matter himself. He didn't want those people to be disparaged. He didn't want those people to be transgressed against, even though they came from a different cultural understanding and a different cultural background. If we were to apply that same principle today, right, because we're many different cultures, we're many different backgrounds, we may even have a different way of dress and of how we apply our particular understanding of these Islamic principles, that does not mean that you have a monopoly on the truth, right? It does not mean that your understanding of Islam is the privileged one and the rest of the people have a faulty understanding, right? I think a lot of what is kind of the important and pivotal aspect of forgiveness, which is often not mentioned, is humility, right? It's understanding that a mistake was made perhaps, but it's being able to dismiss that mistake, right? And the reality of you being able to dismiss that mistake will be based upon your humility, right? Because when you say, I forgive you, or you made a mistake with me and I forgive you, it means you did something to me, right? So it's about me, it's about I. But what if there was no me, or the me or the I, or the sense of the me was diminished, right? And it was just about Allah. Allah is the doer and He is the receiver, right? So that act that that person actually did wouldn't have happened without Allah's will, right? And your reception of that particular act, again, would not have happened without Allah's will. So if Allah is the doer and the receiver, then why the forgiveness, right? And at the highest levels of Tawheed, at the highest levels of Iman, you stop seeing individual actors. All you see are instruments of the divine will. Every single person, every single thing that happens to you, it's just a manifestation of the divine will. It's just a manifestation of kun fayakun, right? Bayn al-kafi wa noon. It's just be and it is, between the two letters kun kaf and noon, and then it was. So why is it then that you have this objection or i'tirad, right? They say it's ra'ihat al-i'tirad, kariha, the scent of objection to the divine will, right? It's off-putting. It doesn't smell nice, right? It has a foul smell to it. Because when you insist, right, and when you have the expectation that those who have made mistakes with you, they should come to you first, right, and they should seek forgiveness from you, then it's like you have put your position in the position of al-ilah. It's like you put yourself in the position of Allah, when forgiveness should be sought from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not from what your expectations towards yourself.